Is anybody live right now?
KJ,
Are we live?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to begin by saying thanks for everybody coming. I know it's short notice in the middle of the afternoon, but this is pretty important, and it's a case that we heard about this morning that we wanted to get out to the public because, frankly, we need the public's help on this one, and we always appreciate the help they give us, and they're always really good about responding when we need help. So let me introduce myself. I'm Assistant Chief William Dobbins, and I'm over the Criminal Investigation Command with HPD. To my right is Lieutenant John McGallen. He's over our Homicide Division. The reason he's here is because, as you'll learn from my statement this afternoon, this is a potential kidnapping case, and in our department, all kidnapping cases are addressed by our Homicide Division. This does not mean it's a homicide. It just simply means it's a kidnapping, and that's the division that handles those cases. So let me begin by what happened this morning. About 7:55 this morning, there was a witness that witnessed an adult male grabbing a young, I'm going to say a young female because we don't know if it's a child or if it's actually a young teen, but it was a small stature and a young female. But a black male grabbed the child or the female off the street in a headlock and drugged the female back to a vehicle in the 5600 block of Selinsky. That's Selinsky. And there was a second witness that also observed this and stated the same facts, that this male individual grabbed the female, forcefully drugged her back to the car, and put her inside the vehicle on the passenger side of the vehicle. Then he entered the vehicle and went over to the driver's side and left the scene. One of the witnesses pursued that vehicle. I'm going to give you some identifiers in just a second, but they pursued that vehicle down the road, and as you'll see from this video, that is what we believe the video of that vehicle is the vehicle involved in this particular incident. That was taken from a business footage from a business down the street. So the witnesses says the girl was a black female. Like I said, early teens. Don't know exact age, but they say early. Long wavy hair and wearing an olive green shirt. They said her complexion was light, but she was they believe she was a black female, but light complexion. The suspect that was seen dragging the female was a black male. His complexion was dark. He appeared to be in his mid to late 30s and about 5'11", around 215 pounds. Both witnesses gave pretty good descriptions, at least of the size and stature of both individuals, but like I said, the female they couldn't get a good look at, so we don't really have a good guess on the age of that female. We've got a composite sketch down here that everyone took a picture of. That is what Lois Gibson, our sketch artist, did this afternoon from the witnesses' statements. So that's the individual, at least at this point, that we believe was involved. The vehicle is a Chevy Impala. You can see it here, but we're guessing it's around 2006 to 2013 model. Dark tinted windows with paper license plates. So as we do in all of these cases, obviously we want to err on the side of caution. We believe this individual was taken without their, at force, without their permission, obviously. We're going to view it as a kidnapping until we know otherwise. We've checked with HISD, who also made the scene, because we don't know the age of the individual. HISD checked all of their schools in that area, not only the students that were supposed to be there, but those students that were absent today, checked with the families and actually followed up with each one of those families to make sure they could account for their children. And we don't have any missing children at this point from an HISD school. So we're really reaching out to the public to try to help us find out who this person is, what was the circumstances, did she know her attacker, did she not? We don't know if this is domestic or otherwise, but and we frankly don't know if it's a child or just a young teen. So that's the position we're in. The individual that pursued the vehicle followed that vehicle as far as he could, then traffic got too dangerous and he just lost the vehicle. But we did pick this up. I know it's a pretty quick glance, but if anybody recognizes that vehicle or around this area this morning at 7:55 a.m., it can give us any other information of anything they might have seen. Please call HPD and let us know. Our detectives are still out in the field right now, as well as HISD. Lieutenant McGallen is over that group, and he's one of the lieutenants that'll be spearheading this as well. As we always do with our partners at FBI, we contacted them immediately and worked with the field office with FBI to issue an Amber Alert, which is our protocol with HPD. And so they're also aware of the situation and helping us and aiding us in the investigation. Does anybody have any questions?
It looks like there's something hanging out the back of that car. Were you able to look and see what is that thing that's hanging out of the back?
Well, what we believe is that's her trying to get out of the back window. And that's what the witness said. The witness says when this vehicle left the scene, the witness said she was placed in the passenger seat. But as he followed the vehicle, before he lost the vehicle, he saw her climb into the back seat, roll down the back window, and she was trying to get out the back window as he was following them. So we believe that's what this footage picked up, is down the road, her actually trying to get out the back window.
Any indication that she was wearing a backpack and going somewhere?
The witness, all we know is what the witness has stated. He didn't say anything about a backpack. It was just the olive, the olive green shirt, olive color. So no, we don't have any information about that. We originally, naturally, what concerned us at 8 o'clock in the morning is this a child going to school? And that's obviously something that's a huge concern of ours. So we jumped on it with HISD and they started looking. And as of right now, we don't have any missing children reported anywhere, or we don't have any schools at HISD saying that. So at this point, we don't really know who that was.
Can I ask you about the Amber Alert? One, we need to verify the age, because the information that's pumped out on social media and through the Texas Center for Missing People says the girl is between 8 and 10. 8 and 10 or early teens?
Yeah, well, I don't know where there may be some confusion. My understanding is, and Lieutenant here can verify that, early teens is what we were told. So I don't know where 8 to 10 came. That might have been a misunderstanding, but we have no idea what her age is. And here's the problem, as we all know. You may have a young 20-year-old that just happens to be small in stature, and she looks like she's younger than she is. So I don't want to get too bogged down on specific ages, because right now we're just looking for someone that was in distress, forcibly taken and put into a vehicle. And if we limit to just a small child, and this turns out to be someone older involved in an incident, we don't want to lose that. So I understand everybody wants to nail it down as close as we can. So I think as close as we can do it this afternoon is going to be early teens.
Can we talk a little bit about the Amber Alert? I phoned DPS.
Yeah.
They were unaware of this. They still are. I texted the DPS lieutenant as we were driving over here. I know that it currently is a regional alert. That's 14 counties throughout the Houston area. Based on this very limited information, why are you all leaving it not across the state? It's not. There's no text message. Our viewers were concerned about the legitimacy of this, because they haven't received a text message. It's not popping on text dot signs.
Right.
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, and Lieutenant McGowan is the one that actually helps with the Amber Alert, so he's a great source for that information. So I'll have her answer it. Go ahead, John.
The Amber Alert was issued regionally because, frankly, it's easier for us to get out quicker. So that's why we did it regionally, and it hasn't been extended yet. But if this continues to go on, it will be extended. What we try to do is get it out as quickly as we can. That's why some of the information was preliminary. I felt that it was important to get it out via Amber Alert with the limited information that we had, just in the event that it was a child, and it still may be a child. We just don't know. So to answer your question, it went out regionally because that was the fastest way to do it.
What does your gut say? At this point, HISD is saying no students are unaccounted for. You all don't have any active missing persons reports that match this. It's a needle in a haystack with the descriptions that we have, especially in that part of Houston. But as an investigator, what are you thinking?
Well, the first thing I'm thinking is something like this is going to require the community's help. That's why we're here. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Somebody was taken, obviously, against their will, whether they're adult or a child. It's incumbent upon the police department to investigate that and come to a resolution and figure out what happened. So my gut basically is saying if somebody's missing, somebody took them, and we need to find out where they are and who took them. But as far as speculating on a cause or a motive, I can't do that at this point.
One more time, can you play out for us what took place, what this guy did, blow by blow, if you can?
Well, but basically, he grabbed a girl off the street. He pulled up. Our witness saw him with his arm already around her when he arrived. He was pulling her into a vehicle. She was screaming for help. She got into the car. Our witness followed the vehicle with the suspect driving. They passed the surveillance location here, which clearly corroborates what the witness said. She's trying to get out of the car. There's no audio to that, obviously, so we don't know what she was screaming. We have a second witness who saw the child or adult, I don't know at this point, hanging out of the vehicle and talked to us a little bit about it. That's how we found out a little bit more information. But at this point in time, what we have is a composite sketch and a vehicle description and a missing person.
Can
So
you
that's
tell
pretty
me
much the blow by
about
blow.
What the investigators are, I mean, are they looking for more surveillance video? Are they walking, I know that there is a residential area off of Selensky. What the active search is now for info?
Well, right now, what we're doing is we're driving around the location looking for the vehicle, obviously. We had helicopters in the air earlier looking for the vehicle, which is going to be difficult to do from the air. Once our witness lost the vehicle, we have no idea where the vehicle went. So when you say needle in a haystack, that's effectively why we're here talking to the community. They're going to have to be on the lookout for this vehicle, and if they see somebody that fits that suspect description as we have there, or the abducted person's identity, if they can find out who they are, they need to call and let us know.
And the best number to reach, which number is best to get people to call?
And then call the homicide division at 713-308-3600.
How far did the witness follow the suspect?
I would say half a mile.
Where was it lost? Where did the witness lose the suspect's car at?
South Acres and Martin Luther King Drive, Boulevard.
There's construction going on in that area, I believe, too, isn't there?
Yes.
Construction of the property.
What else goes on in that area? So was there a bus stop nearby? Are there any kind of businesses that maybe, I mean, when people first saw the victim, any indication of
It's just a residential area. So, no, not that I
no
know
bus
of.
stop?
No.
Pretty close to like junior high school, right? The
Correct.
junior high school right there, but we have no idea if that's anything to do with that.
We do not, but in an abundance of caution, we had to err on the side of being proactive and assuming the worst. And at this point, we don't really know what we have.
Exactly. Do you know the name of that junior high school offhand? Albert something,
I can't remember the name of it.
Albert Thomas Middle School?
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Was the surveillance video, was that after the person who was trying to follow them, was that after they separated from the person who was trying to follow them? Or where does this surveillance video fit in?
Well, as I stated, once our person following them lost track of them, we don't know where they were. So this was before our witness lost them because we knew the track that they were on.
He's just meaning how far down on Selensky
Right.
Road were you all able to, like how far down in distance are you all able? Is this just a couple of blocks from?
Well, as I
where-
said, from the school to South Acres and Martin Luther King is as far as he was able to follow them.
I have a question. Was the victim walking in the area and that's when she was strapped into the car?
We're assuming so, but our witness didn't see anything until she was already basically being dragged into the car. So I'm going to assume that she was either walking in the area, was dropped off. There's a possibility she could have gotten out of the suspect's vehicle. We don't really know at this point in time.
Do you know what the witness was doing before he saw this happen?
Driving down the road.
Oh.
And the exact location where this happened, again, is Selinsky and, what?
In the 7600 block of Selensky.
Okay.
Oh, 76?
I'm sorry,
56.
56. my bad.
5600.
56.
And then,
5600.
forgive me, investigator.
No, no problem.
I'm trying to get all of the questions answered in this live feed.
No
And
problem.
people are saying, listen, this is when Houston should be checking their Ring doorbell cameras, things like that. I know HPD has a partnership with Ring, specifically for robberies and those types of crimes. Are you all tapping into that partnership for this specific area?
Absolutely. That's the reason that we're here, as I stated, is to get it out to the community that look at your surveillance videos, look for this vehicle. If you have a Ring doorbell, look at your Ring doorbell. The bottom line is, we don't know where they went once our witness lost them. So that's why we're here asking for the help that we need.
Was the witness able to indicate whether the car had just stopped in the roadway or had parked, or like the position for the vehicle?
He just said it was on the side of the road. I don't know.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously he stopped because he got out of the car to get her, so he had to stop the car at one point to get out to get her. But, and what you stated earlier with the needle in the haystack, the reason, like John said, the reason we're here is we're going to look for other videos. We're going to knock on doors. We're doing that all day today. But the media, if it can get it out to the public, the citizens can help us far more than we can this early in the investigation. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's possible there were other people that saw something and just didn't say anything. Sometimes people are reluctant to talk. So 2 people told us the same thing. Maybe there's 3 or 4 more that may have saw something better or a different angle. Anything we'll take, because sometimes people don't come forward until they realize how important it is, and we remind them of that, and y'all can do that with us. But yeah, hopefully there'll be more video. Hopefully we'll find things down the street. Hopefully we'll be able to track that car where it went by using videos. But right now, we're just trying to get way ahead of this thing because we really don't know what we have, and that's what the biggest concern is.
And I don't mean to frustrate you, but you all, you're
You're not frustrating me.
You're speaking to our public and they're asking these questions, and I think people hear a black Chevy Impala with paper plates, oh my gosh, in Houston, that's a needle in a haystack. But I don't know if maybe you can remind people of the information and how it may work to maybe specify. For instance, earlier in the day, when you all first alerted us to this, you said maybe there may be a black tint over the holder that's over that paper plate. The Impala has very tinted windows. Like, can you piece together maybe some of the specifics of the vehicle that may allow people to
Sure.
maybe find that vehicle faster?
Yeah, a couple things that I think are important. The vehicle was obviously a Chevy Malibu, but it had a spoiler on the back, so that's important to keep in mind. The other thing is, our witness said that the license plate was a paper license plate, but it had a plastic cover on it that people used to like black out their license plates. That was on the vehicle, but I don't want the public to just solely rely on that because that can be removed. However, that's a pretty good indicator that may be our suspect if it's still on.
And tinted windows?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Impala or Malibu? You said
Impala.
Impala. You said Malibu.
Oh, I'm sorry, Impala.
Impala, right?
Yep.
Hold on, he said Malibu or I said Malibu?
You just said
He
Malibu.
said Malibu.
I got it right.
And your names real quick, John.
MC Galin. Galin.
I know you all checked with HISD, but is there any chance that once school lets out, people are wondering about, and kids get home and they say, hey, I didn't see so-and-so or this and that. A conversation that maybe parents in the area should be having with their kids just in case, or maybe those kids saw something on their way to school today.
Well, absolutely. We'll take anything we can get at this point in time. And I think that the composite sketch is something that somebody may know the guy in the area. We don't know. So I would have a conversation with anybody who's a potential person who knows this guy, because we'd like to know who he is.
Yeah, anything that parents learn from their children when they come home today, if in fact this is a child, which once again, we don't know, so let's be clear on that. If in fact they do hear things from their children, obviously we want to know that information as well. But HSD has been with us, they made the scene with us, so they were with us from the beginning, and they've been on this all day, just as we have, going through their databases and their intel that they can from their perspective. So we're trying to cover every angle possible. From child all the way to a young adult, all the way to someone who knew the perpetrator and someone who didn't. And that's why it's so hard for us to get where we want to get, because we all want to get there 10 minutes ago. And we're still trying to build this thing, but if the public has anything that can get us down the road faster, that's what we're asking for.
Mr. Dobbs, your first name, sorry.
William.
William.
Yes, sir.
And you're?
Assistant
Grant?
Chief.
Assistant Chief.
Thank you. Yeah, so once again, I mean, I just repeat myself. That's what we're asking for. Anything someone might have seen, whoever brought that up had a good point. I mean, this is 8 o'clock in the morning when a lot of people are going to work, a lot of people are going to school, a lot of people are going to bus stops. If 2 people saw this, it's possible 3 or 4 others saw this too and just didn't come forward and say anything. And we're asking them, anything you know, please let us know, because it would help us with any detail we could get. Okay? Thank you all very much. I think Victor's going to do Spanish when everybody leaves.
And I know
Thank
you
y'all.
all work together now. Are you still working to try to get this